Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.
Hello guys, what is up? We're jumping into Trick taking on Nordavind. The pistol's already gone live. These guys are ready to roll after a little bit of a delay getting into things. As Rubino takes the opening kill but is traded out, Nordavind make their way down towards that B bomb site. Now Strush is in a lot of danger. USP up close up against this many Glocks. He's lucky to get that one kill, but can't escape with his life, unfortunately. With 1-for-1 trades right now, this is not good at all. The USP's retrieved for Nordavind, give them even a ranged advantage. As Tensky comes in with a quick double. It's all down to Honda to try and pull back a 1 versus 2. He has no idea where they're going at this point as well. They have access through vents to pop up towards that A site. The vent up top is broken, so he won't even get the intel then. Or they can go all the way up, back through secret. Oh, are they going to wrap down through ramp? This could be awkward for Hunden. They're just creeping their way forward. Now they're going to come through heaven, catch an angle if he was on the A-bomb site with the height advantage. This would also give them the advantage in the sense that if he was here, they would instantly be able to catch him off. And then, oh no, that's awkward. My idea was go down the ladder to B and maybe get onto the bomb site. But Tensky comes in with the headshot onto Hunden to eliminate him. See, the whole thing there was the bomb was dropped, so he had no choice but to commit. And I really like the idea of of sending the bomb out, leaving the USP on the ranged fight. Just a shame that he was so low on HP, so Hunden could instantly eliminate him. So 1-0. Nordavind started off well. They've got 2 AKs to play with, a couple of SMGs, and quite a lot of utility. Tricked, on the other hand, a little bit worse for wear. After losing that round, they go in for the force bite. It's understandable on a map like this, but you got lots of SMGs to work with. I'm curious as to where that shotgun's positioned. Okay, just holding inside of main. Oh, he's getting aggressive. That's not a great idea. As his head's ripped off, it puts it into a 3v5. Acor dying elsewhere. Nordavind now with a 2-man advantage to work with. They're going to be feeling pretty Gucci. They can just group up at this point and make sure they play trades, but still spread out quite significantly, but winning the fights nonetheless. With the 3 SMGs in play, Nordavind are actually kind of future-proofed. So if this was an eco from Tricked, it would be a little bit awkward in the sense that Tricked would get a full buyout, they'd get M4s in the next round, AUGs. Nordavind would have all these SMGs to work with. That's actually an AK drop, but it's not going to be retrieved. God, Nuke is hard to observe. As Hauser takes back the AK. So Tensky at this point can pretty much just buy armor and a pistol if he wants. Okay, well, Hauser can buy armor and a pistol, and he does, yeah. Tech 9 and armor. There's no point in investing, simply because they know Tricked aren't going to buy up here. This is a situation now after losing the first round, forcing up in the second. They have to take an eco to allow their money to build up and get a full buyout. Especially on the CT side, you can't allow yourself to just keep on throwing yourselves at weaker buys and give rounds over to the terrorist side, because Tricked come in here with an advantage on the defensive, and they don't want to give that away, at least not too heavily. A swing towards outside, it's a standard enough strategy when you've got all these USPs to work with. You're trying to find 1 or 2 kills, and they actually succeed in doing so. Hunden's left alive to just try and pick up 1 more, but it's not possible. They're all lined up, taking him down. So 3-0, it's a scoreline for Nordavind that used to be granted for free on winning the pistol. Now it depends on the economic decisions, but in this case, Tricked not coming ahead in the second round. Force buy, 3-0 was pretty much guaranteed. The question in my mind, with that AWP bought up, you can see they still have money to buy in the next round, so they might actually keep these SMGs through. Just to avoid buying up, so that this basically plays out as a bonus round. So if they lose this, they still have money to get a full investment out in the next. And it really doesn't put them in the worst situation. With Acor opening it up, They're going to be happy that this is a bonus. Luckily, that's one of the SMGs taken down, but Chroman loses a lot of HP. Halzerk actually dies running down the ramp, or down the stairs and outside. And that op is going to be left there for at least a second. Har should come up and take that. Or at least Chroman does. And it makes sense for Chroman to take it right. He's so low in HP. If they can get to the bomb site, that op could do a lot for them, even with Chroman being so low. But it's a tricky one to do, as they've got the crossfire, both players from stairs, just shredding them apart. And Trick come in with the opening kill, or the 2 opening kills towards outside. Acor finding that, not through the smoke, obviously, but the second, I forget who got it, the spam through the smoke was really the pivotal factor. It just puts Nordavind on such a heavy man disadvantage, and their position is just completely known. As soon as you catch somebody going down secret through those smokes, you know that unless, for example, there's a player coming through the vents and they'd already cleared out ramp. So in the absence of that, either of those two things, you know that they're going to be pushing entirely through secret, and so they were just pincered in. Bubsky takes down Chroman to start it off, toe tapping him to death, and leaving Trick into a man advantage. No real information gain. That's the one advantage of dying in that position. Trick still have no idea where Nordavind want to take it in the round, but they do have to pull it back now. And just in general, it's not easy to play from behind on the terrorist side on Nuke. You're relying on getting yourself some opening picks. The op of Halzerk not going to be landing anything to start us off. And taking a look at Nordavind, in general, when they received so that they actually have some really good statistics on this map. They don't play it too much, but twice against French Frogs at the X3D Max side, and once against Super Yumi. And in those matches, they managed to win 81% of the rounds where they found the opening duel, and 36% when they received the opening death. That's actually insanely high. Trick don't have quite those statistics. 75 when they get the opening kill, with 28 when they receive the opening death. So Nordavind certainly look better at playing this map from behind and from ahead. The only problem is they don't play it as much, and certainly not against the same kind of level of teams that Trick are beating on it on a consistent basis, or at least performing very well on. I think back to the Windigo game. It was only a while ago, a month and a half. It was 16-6. Since then they haven't really played anybody too amazing. But their form on always looks pretty good. And just with being a Danish team, you expect Nuke to go your way. It's quite the map in the Danish scene. I don't know though, I'd still give them a really good chance over on the Nordavind side to take this series, despite the fact that they don't look very good on these maps, and are definitely the underdogs, and I'm not denying that. I think they could really surprise us. Excuse me. So as we jump into this one, you've got a complete eco from Nordavind, essentially. Just a couple of Deagles bought up, and they find nothing with it. Towards outside, pushing. It's unfortunate. But as Trick win that round, they secure themselves a stronger economy. Not losing any players over the last couple has granted them pretty much 6k plus on every player. Borup just 200 below, or 150 below. And most actually around that 8k mark. So Trick at this point, they're not worried about losing one round. They can easily recover and pull back into it. Spot the Aussie. Hey, how you doing, bro? I remember Wookie. I remember putting her on stream. So Trick towards outside, dropping a couple of smokes. You can see those there. They haven't actually smoked fully. It's a massive gap in it. I think they missed one of their smokes, did they? Yeah, Nordavind missed one of their smokes. Big yikes. So they've lost a player in the cross there because of that. And then you've got Halzerk left alive. 1 versus 5. Not the easiest position to pull it back from. And it's a shame. Just one of those really small, like one of those minor details, right? And that's one of the things with them playing the map. Oh, no. They did line up for him, but spam through the wall. What can you do about that? With playing the map so infrequently, only 3 plays on it, you do expect, I suppose, some of those smaller mistakes, but outside smoke's something you really shouldn't be missing. We'll look past it, though. They have still got 3 rounds on the board, and it's not the worst position for them. Sure, they're going to take the pistols here, and it'll most likely be a lead to Trick. But when you think about Nuke in general, you got to remember it is pretty CT-sided. It's Josh coming in with the opening. Acor does the same, and we're into a 5v3. Really, Trick just want to avoid losing any players in this round, but look at their economy at this point. If they succeed in that aspect, then it might be a bit of a grim prospect for this T side. At least 1 kill to come through the long-range P250 fight. It's a brave attempt, but elsewhere, Hara's managed to find that frag, which does bring it down to at least 2 players having to reinvest. And it goes some way to start the economic management that we need to see from Nordavind, as their opponents have so much cash right now. One more full buy to come through. We've not had a lot of success in these from Nordavind. They're going to spreading out and looking for their picks towards outside. AWP early on. Halzerg holding for that push. Hunden has gotten a little bit aggressive, but he knows not to over-aggress, not to push his luck all too much. Unfortunately, Halzerg doesn't know the same. Jump peeking. Acor's got the angle up on top and takes him down with the AWP. Putting it into a 5 versus 4 and a man advantage now for Trick to play with. All they need to do is relax, hold down, wait for Nordavind to make a move. As the T's so far have been making a lot of mistakes, whether it's smokes on the cross or just pushing towards bomb sites where the angles are reigning supreme for Trick. The bomb sitting towards outside with that AWP in hand. It's Rubino looking for a frag. If he goes down, the round is all but over. Hunden's up close, waiting for Rubino to get aggressive. He's backed up by Acor. The smokes go down. The molly's a little bit late, so they do get access towards the B bomb side. But the problem is Rubino is solo here. And if he falls, that bomb's going to be down in the open. They've spotted the bomb in secret. They know that, at least for now, it's going to be an attempt towards the B bomb side. But there are still a lot of players outside of A. And whether they're going to drop down, well, it's already been decided. Tensky goes down. Okay, quick trade as Hunden falls. Now they've got access to vents to go down and help Rubino, but they're looking towards the bomb site itself. Acor comes in to trade out his teammates and put it into a 3v1. All on Rubino to pull this off with the AWP, and he finds 10 seconds, though. No time to get that plant, and he's taken down by Sjush to leave it 6-3. Another round for the CT side, but they do lose quite a lot of players in that round, so the reinvestment's going to be there, but again, it's not something that we're too worried about, because they've so much cash already on the CT side. It's built up like crazy. And so Nordavind are really struggling. They call a timeout to try and figure out their issues and gain some direction coming into this, because so far that has definitely been lacking. Yikes, moment when your mic's muted. So, Nordavind buy up the Mac 10s. They've got money for the next round, and you can see why they're doing it. This allows them to play a much faster strategy, make their way towards bomb site, and just try it out. See how the faster strat's going to work for them as they go for one-for-one trades straight away. That's pretty good. Baller up, though. Lines them up and takes 2 down. Bombs on the floor. And it's a 2 versus 4. It's not looking too good for Nordavind as they go for the bomb plant once more, but it's a fake. Hara instead looking towards the double doors as he eventually goes for the plant. It doesn't look like he'll be all too disturbed, but the money for the T side isn't their issue at the moment. The real issue is winning these rounds, and with a 2-man disadvantage on the retake here, Nordavind should find it hard to hold down, but the nice trades to start it off. This could be the round, but down goes Rubino. They know exactly where Hara is. He's trapped in, and Hunden takes him down with a double. It's 7-3. Good damage again done by Nordavind and a bomb plant, but it's too little too late, really. Tricked have already got so much cash, they can afford to keep losing these players. They literally have 2 guys on 16k. There's no way they break their economy before this game ends, or before this half ends at least. And Nordavind at this point, like I said, they get the bomb plant for extra cash, but cash isn't their issue. They've got the full loss bonus. Their real problem right now is securing the rounds when they get everything out, like we see right now. And that moment when you mute your mic because you got a cough. And then you just don't unmute it. It's great. It's great. It's good, it's good, it's good. This is why I don't produce. I'm a noob. Rubino goes down. Bombs down in the open, but at least it's retrievable. That Molotov tells them that. They still... I like that they're playing a little bit passive, though, knowing there could be a player peeking right where Acor is. That Molotov ticks him. He stuck around a little bit to try and catch them off smoke, and he re-peeks! How's he able to walk away with 2? Acor takes down 2. The bomb is dropped in the open. They've got control. They know where Croman is, and he's low HP. Won't be getting anything done today as Hunden eliminates him in the vents. And his body falls down, thereby being shafted, as the beautiful Dean would say. Taken down in the vent shaft. So it's 8-3, and again, Nordavind just struggling to get anything on the board. They've won the first couple of rounds, like the pistol, the force buy, versus the force buy, the eco, and then since the buy rounds have come out, Tricked have just looked indomitable, and I think that's the real thing we expected coming into this series. The caveat, of course, being that Nordavind are not terrible at any of these maps. You've got the Nuke, the Overpass, the Inferno. Trick looked better, and that's the real problem for Nordavind in this series. No matter what map we end up on, Trick looked like the stronger team. But for the fact, like, aside from that, I would give Nordavind a decent chance of taking it in this series, but still the underdogs, probably like 30% or so. It's an odd nade straight into the back of his teammate. But it might not matter. With the pause coming through, Nordavind decided to take out a buy on 3 AKs, an SMG, and a Deeg. Gives them a decent chance to come out on top, but... Oh, that Molotov's going to slow them down completely. It separates them. They've only got 2 players pushing towards the ramp, so they could be isolated, but as one goes down, Tensky continues to aggress, jumps around to avoid the op of Acor, and does indeed survive, although he gets lit up for it. They're into a 4v4, closing in towards the B bomb site. Now Borup has his time to shine. He's been having a fantastic series so far. They've spotted him out, though, and taken his head off. A man advantage now in play for Nordavind. They can get that bomb plant down, no problemo. Planning for the double doors, but they already have control, or at least they're seizing it. Rubino's starting to walk on down. Capitalizes on Bubsky, and a little bit of extra cash for him. Keeps on going. Brave with the Mac 10, but at least Hunden is very low on the back of that engagement, putting them into a pretty advantageous spot. Does Acor check close left? He does, actually, but with his pistol out, he's going to be eliminated, leaving Hunden on 7 HP to try and pull this back, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. They also know, I assume, that he was headshot by the Mac 10, so they assume at least 50 HP. I'm quite surprised to see him going for that and peeking out with the Molotov. Not the way to go. Nordavind finally get another round on the board on the back of their mix buy. And that's one thing you can definitely comment on. You saw when they took out the Mac 10s, the faster strategy towards ramp really worked out for them. So I'm glad to see that they've integrated that a little bit into their buy rounds. Now with the AWP out on Halzerk, you expect again to see a slower round develop. In Nordavind, full buy, obviously plenty of utility coming into this. They're not looking too bad. Like, they can definitely recover this. If they can finish with around 6 rounds, then all that streak from Trick doesn't really matter. That's the benefit of getting the pistol round under your belt early on. Hundin goes down. The push towards the A-bomb site's a little bit faster than what we've normally seen. Borup comes up slowly but surely. Takes down Halzerk on the AWP. This is not a good round at all. Trick just come in and dominate. As Kroman comes up through the vents, or Borup, sorry, comes up through the vents, Halzerk dies, and we didn't see any of the other action, but just torn apart. Everybody winning their duels. Trick now 9-4 ahead. And Nordavind have so much to do. At this point, they need to win the next 2 rounds. Failing to do that, they'll receive a 10-5 half. It's not terrible. It's definitely recoverable. But my real problem, my real gripe with this is if you're finding yourself that pistol round and following through on the force buy, you're granted the free eco, so you're 3-0 up. You really need to find 6 rounds on the board. Like, that is a baseline once you've gotten those free 2 rounds, I suppose. Like, finishing with 4, if they lost the pistol and the first full buy, I could certainly see it. I would give them some chance to come back. It would just be a really unfortunate set of circumstances for them. They won the pistol, lost the first buy round, so 5... It's okay, but it's okay at best, right? They had such a good start to the half, and to walk away with just an okay scoreline isn't great. 6 is expected. So this has been a fantastic recovery by Trick. And that's one thing you can say. I mean, they've been really consistent of finding opening kills. Just take a look at the stats. I mean, Acor is 4 for 0, Stush 3 for 0. Acor on the AWP having a lot more success than we usually see from an op on Nuke. I mean, we see a lot of great op players really struggle here. Dragonfly was one of the ones that I remember performing quite well on Nuke, like a specialist map. But it's pretty common that the ops don't get as much action, and I'm not sure if that's because Trick are positioning... Well, it is because Trick are positioning him quite well. I mean... He's playing towards heaven, but he has played quite aggressive on outside a couple of times. This is one of the reasons, right, that you're going to see them struggle some... What is that smoke? I think that was an attempt to smoke the cross, but it bounced off this. And... okay, well, let's look past it. 2 kills come in for the CT side as the push down towards the B ramp for Halzerk goes well, but he actually expects Stush up close and takes him down. This puts Tensky in a position that he can definitely work from in a 1 versus 3. Oh, shooting a corpse gives away his position. Thought he was crouching in the middle of the doorway as Acor comes up behind, AWP in hand. This is a decent angle for Tensky to take that fight in, but with 25 seconds left, he knows he has to get aggressive. Oh, unlucky for him. He drops the flashbang out to push the ult, but Hundin's the one finding the kill, taking him down, putting it 10-4. And now Nordavind at best get an okay half. And even at that, it's going to be a rough one. Because obtaining that round is an uphill battle, and one that we haven't seen going too well for Tricked, or for Nordavind rather, so far. Tricked, on the other hand, like we said, they're playing an absolutely phenomenal game right now. Acor with his early aggression on the AWP, at times controlled aggression, of course, is currently sitting down 4-0 in opening duels, still unchallenged in the early round, as is Stush. And the ability to have 7 opening kills... Sorry, Acor is actually 5 for 0 in opening kills. So you've got 8 opening duels given for free to Tricked that haven't been returned. And it's sort of a storyteller. Although it's not 1 for 1, but like we said, both of these teams have a really high win rate whenever they open a round. And to be honest, a pretty high conversion rate when they receive the opening death too. But Tricked currently have 10 opening duels going their way, and Nordavind have 4. So it's not a direct correlation, because we know Nordavind have at least won 1 round where they received the opening death and then traded it back. And that's one of the things. On the T side, it tends to be easier. Statistically, if you receive the opening death, if you're playing it correctly and making sure that you're trading on a consistent basis. This time they managed to actually get their smokes down on outside for what might be the first time. Obviously not, they've done it a couple times. Pushing down towards the bomb site itself. You've just seen Borup fall, unfortunately, at the hands of Croman, but instantly traded out. It's just waiting for the push to come forward. He's going to catch them off. Bomb dropped down into the open, although he's eliminated it afterwards. So it's into a 2v2. Nordavind had the chance to get this bomb plant with quite a lot of control towards Secret. Hunden's going to try to catch... Oh, he almost saw him, but the Molotov will force him out afterwards. Watching the left side. Doesn't catch the kill. Hauser comes out on top of the SG, and now you're into a 1 versus 2. Bubsky's got to pull this back. Low HP on Hauser. This could be a phenomenal half for Tricked if they can get to 11. 5 gives Nordavind the chance to recover, so it's not ideal if they lose it, but indeed they do, as Tricked go down. In the final round, it's 10-5. Nordavind have a really decent chance to pull this off, considering how poorly that mid-half went for them. They're going to be happy to walk away with 5, and they were looking really shaky on the terrorist side. Now that they're on the CT, I think they'll feel a little bit more comfortable. Alrighty, had to fix some issues du technical, but we're ready to jump on into the pistol round as it's left into a 1 versus 2, a 1 versus 3 rather for Hunden. It's at least a good start for Nordavind into the half, and it's a really pivotal round for them. They don't want to be left behind at this point. As Hunden tries to pull it back. Big problem for him. Bombs dropped in the open, and he's going to be taken down quite quickly, leaving it over into a 10-6 scoreline. Nordavind winning at that. I mean, we've seen them now take both pistols. That gives them an injection of rounds. And if you're winning both pistols on your opponent's map pick, that's when you really have the chance to close it out. Although Trick do currently look better, and obviously favored to take it over the line, they have only got 10 on the board. And whilst that one round... at the start, the pistol round of their terrorist side going their way would have given them massive favor to probably take this over the line. Now they're in a position that they're going to be 10-7 before they get a full buyout, and if that doesn't go their way, then Nordavind start to look a little bit favored on the counter-terrorist side. As they build up a little bit of control, a little bit of momentum. But you do have to take into consideration, this is Tricked's map pick. Somewhere they're going to feel comfortable on the T side, and from what we've seen from Nordavind so far, they've been a little bit shaky, but I'd put a lot of their problems down to just botched executes. A lot of the time their smokes are missing. The one on outside, when they were actually focusing towards the A bomb site, when you miss that smoke on outside, there's a player watching it. He knows nobody's gone down secret. He's got all the information to work with. It was 8 core in the AWP. They either push down secret and he picks them off as they go, gets a couple advantages for his team, or he spots out that there's no one there at all. Then you're into a bit of an awkward situation, because if he knows you're not going secret, you're still going to have lots of players on that A site. And that's exactly what happened. Exactly what Nordavind walked into. So at this point, you've got yourself 2 AUGs, 2 SMGs, 3 SMGs rather. 2 MP9s and a UMP to work with on the CT side, so lots of close range engagements going to be forced out by Nordavind if they can. Playing this as a bonus, but with the investment on the Croman, it has cost them quite a lot. That nade actually stops Boar, but he gets taken down by the spam. It's not a nice way to go. You're into a 5v4. A-Core at least returns it. But the HP on Hunden isn't looking all too healthy. He's on death's door. That spam actually working so successfully. If he goes for it again, Tensky's dead. But no, just the one for him. He's not feeling too greedy. Hauser peeks in. They're watching that angle though, and although A-Core goes to low, he's down on red HP. The only remaining B defender has got 19, and he's eliminated straight away. Hara now starts to rotate through the vents, picks up an SG, swinging out. There's A-Core on the floor, and you're into a 2 versus 2. Hunden still being super low on HP as the retake is attempted. He's supported by a player on ramp, but unfortunately he can't do anything about Rubino just opening that door. Luckily enough, he's got the angle onto the bomb from here. Oh, and he's cut off Hara. Now all he has to do is worry about the bomb itself as Rubino, holding down with an AUG, has to tap it. He's sticking it, in fact. He's being spotted, still crouched down there. The swing comes out, and that's really smart from Rubino. He doesn't shoot, and he stays crouched. It makes it look like he's still defusing that bomb. So the peek continuously comes in. He knows a re-peek is there. And then he's got that trigger finger to take him down and put it 10-8. A bomb plant achieved for Trick, though, so their economy isn't too terrible. They're able to get out one of these faster by these pesky MAC-10s. On a round like this, when they're just going to be barreling towards you, can be really hard to deal with. Acor, I expect to just take a P250. And indeed he does, and the logic for that being that he wants an AWP out, so you need to save over as much cash as possible. And you've already got plenty of SMGs in play. Pushing towards this A bomb site quite quickly, but achieving nothing for it. Caught behind the Molotovs and the smokes. Acor is the last alive with that P250 and 12 HP. He's hiding off in the corner. Waiting for someone to get too aggressive, but it doesn't happen for him. Even when they do. 10-9 now. Nordavind gonna face against one more full buy, but they've taken favor back. Now that they're on the CT side, they've got a very decent chance. And although we talked about Tricked being favored on each map, they look better in general. Nordavind certainly putting up the performance early on to make us doubt our prediction of Tricked being the favorites at all. And you do have to take into consideration when you look at the win rates on the maps, the teams that they're playing against. In Nordavind, they've been beating teams like El Cuvette, Dragons, Super Yumi, Giants, Windstrike, Namiga, Fours. It's a mixed bag, right? Then you go to Prosto, Windigo, Epsilon. So it's a very mixed bag of teams that they're playing against. Whereas we've seen Nordavind, I mean, only play against Super Yumi and French Frogs twice. But successful in both affairs, and they're decent enough nuke teams. I would still put Tricked above them. But it's been a shaky start. For the terrorist side anyways. I mean, you gotta compliment Nordavind's recovery of the rounds in general. The fact that they've been able to pull things back from a position where Tricked, we're looking to take it probably 11-4 at least. Maybe even 12 on the board. But Nordavind get those last two buy rounds in on the terrorist side to at least pull us back into a position that this can happen, that they can find themselves back ahead. A man advantage goes into their favor as Bubsky goes down early on. Tricked start to make their way in through Secret. But I don't know if they're going to angle towards that B bomb side after the player falling down ramp. They now know the defense towards B will be relatively stacked. A flash goes through and they are going to force the issue down here. Trying to work a pick with that AWP. You've got two players to defend, Tensky and Rubino. They've got somewhat of a crossfire. Rubino can swing out and cover his teammate if death from above starts to come through, but doesn't do so. The flank from Croman looking pretty good as he takes Borup out of commission, but the bomb is already down, and they're into a 3v4. Tricked have got the defense already mounted as Hunden finds one, bails over towards the back, but doesn't get there in time as Hara catches him in the open. Man advantage maintained, but Acor with the AWP. He's pulling it back. Looking over towards the single door as well. Spots a player peeking out, and he's ready for it. They're trying to bait the shot, but they do it all too successfully. As he takes him down, Croman's last alive, and Strush is quick to deal with him, putting it over 11-9. Tricked finally getting a T-side round under their belt. It's taken 4, but it's not the worst in the world. There's only been one full buy for them that they've lost. You look at the rounds on the CT side here, you've got the pistol round going the way of Nordavind, then Tricked ecoed, then they bought, they were close, they got a bomb plant, but ultimately lost after too many opening duels went to Nordavind on the retake. Then you've got that mixed buy with the MAC-10s, and finally the second full buy that goes their way. So that's a decent win rate when it's come to these rounds, where they have full utility and hardware to work with. And Nordavind have got to get a little bit worried now. They're free rounds, shall we say, where they found the majority. I mean, essentially, out of the 9 rounds that they have, 5 of them have been given by the pistol round or by beating a force buy directly after the pistol round. There's a force buy in The first half afterwards, and then the eco in this one. So they were only given 2 for free. So with that in play, and indeed all 7 out of 9 of the rounds have been because I've been in a situation where Tricked have very limited economy to work with. So when we've seen that overflowing fiscal situation on the Tricked side, that's been when they've come ahead, and that's currently the situation. They've got themselves all the hardware and utility they want to work with early on, not making all too much progress though. Coming over towards outside, Borup sitting down behind red. And the situation in general doesn't look terrible. Tricked are going to be able to close in a little bit of distance with the smokes going down on the cross. So despite not having a lot of map control early on, they're able to seize it pretty well. Smoke for Rubino doesn't do a whole lot. They're just going to push through it. He does decent damage. I mean, 20 plus to most players going down except for Bubsky. So the spam is pretty successful, you have to say. Flashes down in secret, clearing it out. They make it all the way up to observation room. And actually takes down Hauser, who had a Molotov in hand. He was just stood there in the open. As he goes down, Molly and Vent stops them from pushing down for a retake. And now they've got the bomb site to themselves. All they have to worry about is Croman sitting down below. This position has been held frequently by both teams, so definitely one that they should be checking. The flank coming down through a secret as they are taking quite a while to push out towards this site. They haven't yet checked Croman, which is worrying me. With 10 seconds left, they need to get that bomb down, and the flank could be the end of the round. As they come down through the ramp, the bomb still can't be planted. Trick take way too long. What have they done? Nordavind just keep on taking the duels, staggered one by one to allow that time to just tick on away, and as the bomb eventually goes down, but not onto the floor as you would expect. Nordavind are the ones coming out on top. That is a round botched by Tricked. You could see it. They were taking so long. The flank coming down through secret was really like what I thought would be the pivotal factor, but he actually took his time because the ramp players were able to do so much. That's a hell of a round to lose, and one that's definitely going to hit Tricked hard. Losing players after time as well. Saving over the AUG, but it's really all they can hope for. For that AUG to have impact in this round. He's got barely any cash for the next. That's a pretty grim situation. I mean, that could be the thing that tips things in Nordavind's favor. They push forward. Tensky's just able to spam them away, finding the final kill as well. 4 on the board with the AUG. Rubino got a little bit of bonus cash from the MP9 kill. They're able to upgrade here if they want to. But again, Nordavind seem to be a team that like to play their bonus rounds quite a lot. And a bonus round it shall be. Excusez-moi. So as Croman goes down early on towards outside, Borup seizes that control for his teammates. They will focus towards A, and they can split in through heaven and hell, which is a big problem for them. Losing that height control, spam through the smoke from Bubsky successful as Rubino goes down. Now we're into a 5v3. Nordavind caught off guard as well. Hauser wasn't aware that they could already be up in heaven, and it doesn't look like Hara was either. He had so many angles to worry about, but you know a player's just been spotted in heaven, so that's where you should be looking. As Tensky takes 1 down, it's a 1 versus 4. And again, Tricked pull ahead in the buy rounds when they've got all that cash out, or cash spent. But the problem for them on the Nordavind side is this time Tricked take it a bit faster. They make sure they've got time to plant the bomb. Tricked are starting to lock Nordavind out, and despite the scoreline looking so close, they made a couple of bad decisions, I suppose, a couple of mistakes on the Tricked side. But really, they're looking dominant to me. The control over the map seems a little bit too much. And it may seem strange to say with a 12-11 scoreline, but The mistakes they've made have been so minute. The rounds they've lost on the T side have been ones that you can definitely forgive them losing. The pistol round, the eco, a buy round that came very close, another mixed buy with Mac 10s. They win one, they lose because of time, then they're forced down to another weird buy, and they win the next buy round. So really, there's only been one mistake, one major mistake from them, and that was in the round that they lost because of the time. Outside of that, they've been looking really good. And with the place that their economy is currently in, excuse me, even if they lose the rounds but manage to get a bomb plant, they can still afford to get buys out. So it does put Nordavind in a bit of a compromised spot in that sense. That they could be against... I mean, if they find one buy round, sure, but they won't get a free one directly afterwards. The same cannot be said for Tricked. If they win this one, Nordavind again have no money, and so it will be 14-11 before another full buy comes out for Nordavind. Unless they decide to go for a big force buy. As now Tricked again look to push towards the A site. This time a little bit more one-dimensionally. As Hunting goes in all by himself, he gets taken down by an SMG. It's a very nice opening kill for Nordavind, because they've also dealt a lot of damage to Shush with their weakest weapon. Halzerk, on outside actually, a lot of damage done to Borup. Tricked are behind by a pretty significant margin, even though it is a 4v4. They decide to relocate, going down towards the B site where nobody is currently there to defend. As Rubino goes down, this is a little bit awkward. Bubsky's still selling this. What is Tensky doing? Dropping down from rafters. He's caught in midair, and it's down to a 2 versus 3. Nice shot by Halzerk. He's able to bail out of there without dying. As he re-peeks it, he got me a little bit scared. They're going to go for the bomb plant now. With Croman down in vents and that information secured. Both players are low HP, but this AWP coming in on Halzerk. Oh, he's got the USB out. He's got an idea. These guys are low, but he's taken down by a quick headshot. Croman's going to try to pull off a 1v2. Catches one towards the back of the bomb site. Stush is holding down. Croman has no idea, though. No information to play with whatsoever. And Stush knows exactly where he is as he taps the bomb. The peek comes out, but Croman's watching it. He catches him straight to the head, and a defuse obtained. Nordavind with another round on the board. A super close victory, but a victory nonetheless. And as they walk away now, 12-12. Again, you can kind of see what we're talking about when I say that I'm favoring Tricked. Nordavind winning the rounds, but they're super close whenever they do. They're winning because of time. They're winning because of getting a 2-man left alive defuse, or in that case, 1v1. Or 1v2, in fact. Thankfully, they'd already dealt the damage to the players. Whereas when Tricked win it looks like a much more dominant round, and they're consistently pulling these to close rounds. At a very worst case scenario. And again, with the bomb plant down, they can get this full buy through. This is what we were talking about previously. Halzerk wants to get aggressive, but he's taken down. Acor's there with the AWP to eliminate him. And so we're into a 5v4. That's the strongest weapon removed for Nordavind, and the fact that they lost so many players put them down to 2 SMGs in this round. Number 25. It's not optimal. Their buy could certainly be better, and so could their man advantages, I suppose. Croman with an AUG in hand capitalizes on Deborah, but they're about to push him down. Blitzkrieg towards him. He bails on out of there. Not one. Oh, he sticks around a bit too long with that nade. 3 players peeking him, and he gets one more, which is more than I really expected, to be honest. Now put into a position. 2 versus 3. Nordavind are ahead. They've managed to retrieve an AK in the hands of Hara as well. So things aren't looking terrible for them hardware-wise. They've cleared out B. Going to be able to get a bomb plant safely enough. Nordavind on a retake on B. They've actually looked pretty good, to be honest. All things considered, I didn't think they would. But Tensky, there he is, taking down Hunden in the open. Leaving Acor to try and clutch this out with an AWP. He's 1 versus 3. Finding these shots should be difficult as long as they push together. And they know it's Acor, so they know it's an op. They'll be cautious, and I believe they have an idea on where he is. With the smoke down on him re-scoping, they may have heard that. Shot's not going to be connected as Rubino takes him down. it's all over for Tricked in this round. And I gotta say, again, pretty impressive that Nordavind are consistently able to pull off these retakes. I mean, Tricked are pulling the rounds a lot closer than you would normally expect, and that's why I'm looking towards them with a little bit of favor. Getting the bomb plants, though, like we said, if they're able to consistently do that, they can consistently get full buys out. So it's not an easy road for Nordavind, but they have pulled ahead at last. And on the CT side, they have a very good chance of finding this. This would be a phenomenal map for Nordavind to take. You got to remember, they're not really favored on any map coming into this series at all. Trick certainly have the better statistics on them, even from playing it from ahead and behind. So the big problems for Nordavind coming into this was if they get stomped out on one map, on the map pick especially of Trick, then they're in a lot of trouble. Nordavind losing the opening duel as Hunden just pushes through. Hunden, new entry fragger for Tricked. 2 kills on the board. Borup comes through onto Chrome and putting it into a 5v2. And Nordavind forced into a save instantaneously. Hauserk finds a kill, but he's not tempted to go for it. Despite winning the rounds, their economy doesn't allow them to get hard reset like that. I don't think they'll have any loss bonus built up. No, they won't. So $1,400 it should be in the next round for Nordavind. Not a decent spot to buy from unless they can save both of these weapons over. And Hunden, I mean, just barreling through the smoke. We've seen it from him before. We saw it from him in the previous round, I think, where he just ran in and got destroyed by an MP9. This time a little bit more assistance from his teammates. He did get traded in that situation. Tensky finds another on Dububsky, sticking around a lot longer than I'd like, to be honest. But he successfully finds the kill. The thing is, at this point, you're not worried about Tricked's economy. They're consistently getting bomb plants. And in this round, obviously, it won't affect them losing that extra player. It won't immediately affect them, we'll put it that way. Hunden again playing as the bank manager, giving out the loan of an AWP to his teammates. Hunden's having a fantastic game, to be honest. Like, he's top fragging on the Tricked side alongside Acor, who he's been gifting AWPs to. It's really, like, I mean, I don't mean to BM Hunden and say, wow, he's actually having a good game. What? But you don't expect to see him performing so well, especially not with like Bubsky and Stush on the team. Acor obviously doing a fantastic job. Borup's had a couple of tricky rounds. He's also got the most flash assists for the team and the most assists. The most kills, the most assists, the highest ADR. He's not got the most opening duels though. Acor is still uncontested early rounds, 6 for 0. While Stush has had a much harder time on the terrorist side now. He was 4 for 0 finishing out the CT side, now he's 4 for 3 in opening duels. The positive for Nordavind is no matter what happens, they've taken this a lot closer than it was expected to be, and given themselves a little bit of confidence for their map pick coming up next of Overpass. As they come in with a full buy and an MP9 on Hara, which has been pretty successful towards blue in general. Tricked play a much slower round. They've seized outside control already. Bubsky comes down through the vents, I assume. Just want to check if the vents are open. They are indeed. Yeah, and the blood there. So Bubsky came down through the vents. He's claimed control towards B, so they're going to focus on ramp and try to get some picks there. Trade not possible by Acor to start it off. As Tensky falls elsewhere. I mean, Bubsky at least finding that frag puts them in a bit of a decent spot. They've heard the rotate. They haven't heard the rotate coming down. Croman pushes up behind Bubsky and takes him out. I thought he was spotted. I thought he was at least heard. But they had no idea, apparently, as it's into a 3v3. Hara, again on the MP9. Success from Blue, this time towards the bomb site itself. Dropping a smoke to make sure his back is relatively secure. He would be a madman to push through that up against an MP9. Leaving Hunden and Acor to try and pull off a 2 versus 3. They're pushing together and seizing a bit of heaven control. They should catch an angle down towards the bomb site, but Rubino's head peeking. That's a hard shot to hit, but Acor lands the head. They know that Hara was around this area as well. The Molotov towards vents, and now they're conscious of Blue. Bomb plant going down for heaven, so there's nothing that Hara can do. As now we come into the 2 versus 2. Hunden glows in the distance, spots Hara out, knows he's there, and pre-fires him around the corner. It's all on to Croman to pull off a 1v2. the clutch we've seen him do before. It'll be a 3K in the round if he can achieve it, and Nordavind desperately need it, as they don't have a whole lot of money for the next. But Hunden again coming through with the kills. 23 for 17. And that's the problem. You're in a 1v2 against the two top fraggers at the moment for Tricked. Hunden's got the big brain. He's got the big wallet, giving Acor that up on a consistent basis. And he's got the big kills. 23 for 17. Wow, HLTV scoreboard's actually lying. I'm checking his assists there, and it says 6. Oh, does it take into account how many has Acor got? 3 and 1, and then Bubsky on 4. That's really interesting. So on the HLTV scoreboard, it says assists and then flash assists, but it actually counts a flash assist as an assist. That's really good. I like that. So he's got 6 assists instead of the 5 that it says there, because he flashbanged it as someone for his teammate. That's pretty cool. I've only just noticed that. Neat feature. 14 to 13. Nordavind don't have a lot to work with. That's why we're not really talking about this round. They've only a couple of pistols, and really they can expect to find 1, maybe 2 kills, carry forward a rifle at best. Excuse me. Winning a round like this is not too common. It's one that you really expect Trick to be walking it away with at least 3 rifles in. So it all comes down to fighting for overtime for Nordavind. They know that at least, and so they do take this weaker buy. They don't force buy up and pretty much close the half out themselves. Because if you force here, you've no money for the next year. 2 force buys to try and close it out. It's just takes the damage falling down. Why not? He went for yellow and just realized, it's too far away. Tensky up close on the CZ. That's a dangerous combination. Let him down, goddammit. Halzer jumps off actually very close to the height that he was going to be rip on. At this point with 4 HP left, I would rather just see Halzer stick up close. Chill out a little bit. Cover his teammate. I mean, he's covering that angle, so they can't really push down towards Tensky. Sorry for switching between them so fast. Just want to explain. He's covering the angle so that they can't push down from there, so Tensky only has to worry about a T-side ramp, which puts him in a nice, decent spot. $15 to 13. 15-30. Tricked ahead, and they're looking to find this. They only need 1 more round. They've got the economy to buy, even if they lose this. And so Nordavind certainly have an uphill battle, but they definitely have a chance of recovering it. It is the CT side. They've got a full buyout. Lots of utility to work with as well. Now, we said Tricked were favorites coming into this, and I have to say, this game is a little bit more one-sided than it seems, score-wise. The fact that Nordavind have won both pistol rounds gave them 5 rounds for free. 3 in the first half, 2 in the second, based on the economic decisions that were made by Trick. And so that's definitely boosted their scoreline up. But at the same time, they've made a lot of these rounds super close. Towards the last couple as well. And I think it's it's unfortunate for them because it does seem like Trick just have a better knowledge of the map in general. I mean, they're a Danish team. They've got Hunden leading them. They're never gonna be clueless on Nuke. But just in terms of positioning early round, they find so many opening duels going their way. Kroman caught out by the Molotov. He's heard running back, so they know that they've got control towards the stairs. They also know that he's around this area, so dropping a flashbang to clear out the angles systematically. Nordavind are in a lot of trouble. They've lost a lot of map control down towards that B bomb site. As Trick now open up a lot more angles that they can peek from. Tensky on ramp. I don't know why we're seeing this. I don't know what's happening here. Autodirect is just in a world of its own. Kroman's lit down behind the side, and this is the problem with the SG. Look at the angles. You can see even pixels at this point because you've got that little bit of a scope to work with. Kroman up above the smoke. It's a brave attempt, but it doesn't work out. What does work out is Tensky coming up behind. He catches himself a double, and as they push towards the A-bomb side, there's still players here. Rubino gets absolutely destroyed, though. Bubsky from the ladder just takes him down. Hunden closes on the bomb site, and there he is again, opening up the site for his team. Bubsky pulls it back by taking Halzark down, and it's all on Tensky, a player you can rely on to make clutch plays, especially against 2 on low HP. He's got the chance to pull this off. With an AK-47 in hand and control of heaven, he's going to strike fast and see if he can land one of the kills. Unden's tucked in on Vents. He loves this position, and he gets lit down to 2 HP. The peek comes out eventually, and Tensky actually finishes him with a headshot. Molotov towards Blue Hut. The bomb planted in the open, but he's caught in mid-air. Bubsky takes him down, and that will close us out, ladies and gentlemen, 16-13. As we finish things on Nuke. It was a close map, but with both pistol rounds going to Nordavind, it certainly could have looked a lot more one-sided for Tricked had they have won at least even one pistol. We're going to move on to map number 2 of Overpass, but definitely fantastic signs from Nordavind as they've made this a competitive series, and they will look to close it out, though, over on the Tricked side as we move to map number 2, 2-0. It's possible they look better on Overpass statistically. They look better on Inferno statistically. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Nordavind can do because they've had some good performances and a tight-knit scoreline as well. It's nice to see nobody having a super slow game. But over on that Tricked side, my God, Hunden, he's back on top, baby. Hunden, the top fragger for Tricked, something I didn't think we'd be seeing in this series.
Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Coverage of all live and pre-match events. Place your bets with Solid Bookmaker and win with your favorite teams. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.